Dave, remember last time the monster we see on our front screen? We went in the sewers and we saw it, and like Lance just immediately attacked it without even talking to it.
Oh. I'm more impressed that you and your dad are on a first name basis.
I just remembered it because I just saw the picture.
Yeah, that's actually Xanathar. That is Xanathar. He's really not even he's a tyrant, if I'm not mistaken. A beholder tyrant.
Are you live streaming right now? Like, has it started?
Yeah, you're live.
Okay, because I was just about to say something, but I don't want to say anything.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, Dave, that should I be putting on clothes?
No, because we're not running any webcams for him.
Oh, well, I was telling everybody in the chat I have my tuxedo on with my top hat and monocle, but I always wear it, whether it's webcam or not. Is this the first? Is this the
sort
first
of like
game,
the Monopoly
or is this something
guy?
we're just? It
No.
is. It's just like the Monopoly guy.
All right, so we pass go. You give us $200, right? So did I pass go? Did I collect $200? Never mind. Yeah, this is actually our third session. We had a couple of sessions last year, and the party, and we'll kind of pick it up here. So the party actually saved a noble, which is basically Lord Neverember, Dagalt Neverember. His son became missing, and his son is called Renaer Neverwinter. Neverwinter. Yeah. He's the Lord. Yeah. So Lord
Neverwinter or Neverember?
Neverember, Neverwinter, whatever you want to call it. You'll know what.
Well, I'm just taking notes. I'm doing the global notes, so I'll take them as you talk.
You could just say Neverember or Neverwinter, and I will totally know. So.
Neverwinter is the town.
Neverember, yes. So whatever you want to call them, I honestly don't care.
That's my favorite month. Okay, so we saved, or somebody had saved this son,
yes,
Raynar,
the party.
Neverember.
Yeah,
okay.
So basically, Volo, which is was the person that hired the party to find his friend Renaer, Neverember. So the party went out and found him and brought him back to, you guys are at the Yawning Portal, and you're all around the well that descends down into Undermountain, which is now known in D&D 5e. They don't call it Undermountain anymore. They call it the Dungeon of the Mad Mage. But this old school player and DM, well, I'm not an old school DM. I'm an old school player. I still call it Undermountain. So,
yeah.
People like to say on the forums, I can't believe you're calling it Undermountain. It's called the Dungeon of the Mad Mage. And I'm look, you 15-year-old. It's called Undermountain. Wow. And if you were around 30 years ago, you would know that. So why don't you read some history on Dungeons and Dragons and Forgotten Realms and Faerun? Thank you. No, I'm just kidding. No, but seriously, a couple people said that. I just kind of laughed about it. But anyways, yeah.
Well, I mean, at least with Undermountain, you kind of get an idea of where it's located.
Yeah.
You know, under a mountain.
Under a mountain, yeah.
So you didn't know you could have to bring torches.
And pitchforks. So at the end, the remaining party members, Dante, Eptor, and Wookrath, are sitting at a table, and they are with you guys. Everybody knows who Volo is. I mean, everybody knows who Volo is. You know, he's one of the most famous authors, and he's also a philanthropist of Waterdeep. So you guys have heard of his books, you know, Volar's Guide to Monsters and, you know, all that other stuff. So Volo and also another noble is sitting at a table, and they're talking about this, you know, you hear them over talking about you hear Volo talking about, oh, here's the deed to Troll Skull Alley, you know, your Troll Skull Manor, your new place. So, you know, hey, the other party members, they're kind of, you hear a couple, well, we've lost a couple of people, we need a couple more people, etc. So That's where we're at now. Everybody's still at the yawning portal, and it looks like the three adventurers and well, it looks like there's
And is the
five of
yawning
them.
portal, is that a bar?
It
Is that
is
like a tavern?
it is one of the most. It is probably the most famous tavern that's in Waterdeep, and it's always jam packed. It's multiple levels, etc.
Okay. So I think maybe just to make an introduction, my character, he kind of swing. So what time of day is it, or night, or whatever?
It's afternoon. It's late afternoon, starting to become early dusk.
All right. So my character, by the way, just swings open the door, and just with a lot of ferocity, and he enters. And just for everybody looking at him, my character is a Goliath. So he is humongously tall. He's like 8 foot tall. He doesn't have a lot of hair, just a couple stubbles, but the stubbles themselves are like thick, like a penny inch thick, and just jutting out of his arms and his ears. And he's where most Goliaths are like buff and super muscly. My guy is enormously fat. I mean, we're talking Jabba the Hutt walking on little sticks of legs, kind of fat. And
So,
so
have you been
I
to the
got
yawning
this.
portal before, or no?
Never been to the Yawning Portal. This is the
Okay.
first time. Matter of fact, I just got to Waterdeep, but I have a creature under my arm. It's like the head of like a coyote, like a wolf-looking creature. And so as soon as I punch open the door, and kind of scan around, I'm looking for Volo, and I catch him talking in the corner, and so my guy, just starts walking that way. And by the way, the head that he's carrying is just oozing brain and blood, and it's just making this slick trail behind him. And I come to Volo, and I plump this down right in front of him, and I go, "Here's the wolf. Here's the creature I was supposed to give you for identification." Doggy, where's my money there, guy?
He takes a small little pouch of coins and he slides it over to the edge of the table, and he says, "Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that." And he pulls out a bag out of his pouch, and as he goes to pick up the head, another burly-looking gentleman comes over and introduces himself as Durnan. And he looks at you, Donk, and he says, "I'm sure glad, my friend, that you didn't bust my door off of its hinges. I would have had to thrown that on your tab already. But anyway, I'm Durnan, and this is the Yawning Portal. Is there anything that I can get you to drink?" As he's pouring you a big old frothy mug of ale, and he hands it to you.
Yeah, I'm kind of super excited. I'm rocking from one leg to another. Okay, beer. I want some beer. Okay.
That's what Durnan looks like in the upper right-hand corner, as he's pouring you that nice big flagon of mead.
Well, how big is that flagon? Because obviously, when my mammoth hand, I'm going to stretch them all the way around that flagon, and it's almost like drinking out of a thumb. What are those things called when you're selling?
Symbols.
A thimble. Yeah. So, and I just chuck it back, but I sniff it. And I'm like, "Oh, smells yummy," and then I just kind of throw it to the back of my mouth, and
Thanks, Murdoch.
then I look at it for a couple seconds, and I start crunching with my mammoth teeth
Yeah,
on the bowl, the cup.
Yeah, he just looks at you, and then he looks down at the big the big container that he has all of the beer that he goes around and fill, and he just kind of sets it on the table, and he goes, "Here, you could probably get a little bit more use out of this," as he sets it down on the table for you.
Dokey, thank you. So I start drinking some of that, and then I swing back and lean against the bar. Since it's pretty comfortable, I guess it would just be at my elbow level, so I can kind of just lean up against the bar, and I'm just scanning the clientele in the rest of this area. And my goal here is I'm kind of looking to see, kind of assessing what kind of creatures and stuff and what kind of clientele this yawning portal has. So I'm looking for just strange creatures.
Every type of race that you've ever heard of, Donk, is in the Yawning Portal. There's no discrimination here. There are elves, there are half-elves, there are dragonborn, there are tiefling, there's tieflings with wings, there's dark elves, there's gnomes, Smirfneblin, drow, everybody, even though I already said dark elves.
So out of
there's
nowhere,
everyone here.
So Donk's just chugging
Aarakocra,
out of
everyone.
I was going to say out of nowhere, he just points over at Erica, and I yell, "Oh, look at the pretty birdie! Look at the pretty birdie!" And I start like hopping back and forth on my legs, "Pretty birdie!" And I'm turning around to the bar guy, and I'm just like pointing to him, and I'm just like, "Ha ha ha!" And then I continue to drink.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think I got some crumbs on me when you decided to break stuff and throw drinks back and stuff, so I'm over there pruning my feathers because I don't like to get all that crap on my feather.
Is there any more dragonborns around here? Because I kind of feel a little bit lonely.
There's a whole mixture of everyone here, and
nice.
Volo he looks towards Dante and Epter and Wukrath that's all at the table, and he says, are you ready to check out your new abode? As he kind of slides a couple sets of key rings over to your place, well, over towards your way at the table.
So Dantes picks up the keys, and he's kind of eyeing Volo pretty intently, not sure if he can trust him yet. Yeah,
believe me, Dante's.
Let's take a look at the property, shall we?
So this reward is much better than the 500 gold or whatever I was gonna give you. Believe me, the Troll Skull Manor is a beautiful place.
So I'm watching Volo talk to those guys, and I want to take a look at who he just slid the keys to. So Dante, explain a little bit what your character, what does he look like?
So he is a half-elf, and he's obviously a sailor of some type. He does have no armor or anything like that. His pants, he's got like the bell-bottom pants and a vest. Obviously, he's right off a ship somewhere. A very tan skin from the sun, and he has a scimitar and a couple of daggers strapped here and there.
And I'm going to scan across the rest of the table. Woocraft, tell me what your character looks like.
So my character is a dragonborn paladin, and yeah, I was just walking down somewhere, and I just met these guys. I was like, "Hey, can I hang out with you?" And they're like, "Sure." And next thing you know, I'm fighting a lot of people lately. Did you know there was a dragon civil war, and I was inside of it?
Dragon? So are you talking to me from the distance while I'm looking at you at the table? So I look at you and I'm like, me? Dragon Civil War? Oh, Donk love dragons. There's not.
How do you know? You're not a dragonborn.
Oh, Donk sees all kinds of stuff. There's lots of dragonborn, not many Goliath like Donk. What about Epter?
So Epter is he's a furbog, and he stands up, and he's nearly.
I don't know what a furbog is. What do they look like, furbogs? I don't know what they are.
They're giant kin. They've taken on many iterations over the different versions of Dungeons and Dragons. I happen to prefer the 3.5, the 3.5 edition. But he's nearly 8 foot tall himself, so he's able to look you in the eye, and he stands up and he extends his hand, and he asks you, he goes, "What loony bin did you escape out of there, fellow?"
So I have this giant vat of mead that's sitting up on the bar. So I just put my arm around it and like if whatever it's connected to or whatever, I just rip it and I just start walking over the table. Oh, hi guys! And I set this giant vat of mead down on the table. It's probably sprung a couple leaks and it's starting to put beer everywhere, but whatever. I'm just licking the side of it. And I look over at the fur bog and I go, "Wow, you's a big guy too. Oh, big guy. My name Donk." And then I put my hand out like in the human, like I've seen humans do so many times, and then I just, before anybody touches it, I just start shaking it all kinds of different ways. And then I say in a real official way, "Nice to meet you, Mr. Guy."
Polo, do you know this thing?
You talking to Volo?
Yeah.
Yes. Donk here, he's a unique individual, and he's done some work for me collecting specimens throughout the lands, and he's a quite trustworthy fellow. I mean, even though the Goliath don't have the best reputation you could call it, I actually trust Donk.
Goliath, eh?
Yeah, Donk, a good guy.
I whispered to Volo, "How much do you pay this guy?"
Oh, just a couple of coins. Just enough time to go out and get the head of a wolf, and, well, I didn't expect him to just throw it on the table. I expected it in some type of water sealed bag, but whatever. I got the specimen. Just a couple of coins.
Also, how long has it been working for you?
Probably a couple of months or so. He's done 4 or 5 jobs for me.
All right.
I want to approach the table. Sorry, I want to approach the table and make sure I get in with everybody in the group. I want to stretch my wings out really wide, and I want to really impress Donk and make him just go really crazy.
I think what I'm going to do first is I'm going to slide like 3 or 4 chairs under my butt because I'm so massive. One chair wouldn't do the job. So I sit down on these tiny chairs. You know, I'm looking at the fur bog, and I'm going down real slow on my knees, by the way. And I slide those things under my chair. I even got a little chair that's just for a ripple of lard that kind of blurbled over. And I just set it there so it doesn't scrape across the ground. And I'm just watching everybody while the Aarakocra comes up behind us.
Flapping the wings. Right in the head.
I've never seen this race before of an eagle / a man or a woman. I'm not assuming genders yet, but...
Yeah, what does this Aarakocra, what does it look like?
A walking bird person, basically. A humanoid.
Yeah, a human bird with like an eagle head. I'd say eagle head. Have my arms, and I have like talon feet. I carry with myself a javelin and a quarterstaff and some leather armor. And I have come down from the Lakewood Forest top and just been kind of floating around, soaring above towns, and have come taking rests in the yawning portal.
Sort of like the chicken lady from Kids in the Hall back in the day from the 80s. Bark, I'm the chicken lady. Remember, you guys ever see that?
Chicken lady.
Yeah, the chicken lady. That was a good skit. Just Google that actually just search for it on YouTube. Yeah, it was good. I'm the chicken lady. Sorry. The Aarakocra.
So are you kind of moving up close to us and coming to the table?
Yeah, I'm curious to see what you guys are doing.
I was going to say, the closer that you get, the more excited that I'm getting, and I'm like elbowing people and going, "Oh, look at that birdie! Look at a pretty birdie!" And I'm looking in my bag for some crackers and stuff. So I find a little chunk of cheese, and I'm like, nope, throw that back in there. And then there's a cracker, and I turn around with the big, massive cracker, and I just kind of dangle it in front of the bird, and I go, "Hey, birdie, do you want a cracker?"
or no, you reach into your alchemist jug and pull out a whole big old hand of mayonnaise. Remember that thing produced mayonnaise for you?
Gross.
Yeah.
Hey, eagle man or lady? What are you? Like a man or a lady? First of all.
I would be of the female gender,
All right.
and I try my best to do right by the world, but I want to join in on some more adventurous, pursue more adventurous things and expand my knowledge and stuff. I hear you guys talking about needing people. I'm wondering what you need people for, and I look at the cracker Donk offered, and I just kind of blow it away with my feathers.
Yeah, Volo looks over towards.
Bad.
Yeah, Volo looks over to the original party members and says, "Oh, here you go, lads. This could possibly solve the issues that you're having."
Also, bird lady, are you cursed or were you born like this?
We are a whole people, my son. A whole generation of us, or many generations of us, that soar the skies and look after your well-being.
Do you lay eggs? I like eggs. I like eggs and bacon. Eggs and bacon are delicious. Eggs? How big of an egg?
God.
Really wasn't prepared to answer that one. Sorry, I got nothing.
Oh, nice birdie
Can I
doesn't
change
want
the
crackers. No, that's okay.
Hey, Volo, let's get out of here before this thing pets that bird to death, shall we?
Wait, hold on. Where you guys going? Donk? Take Donk. Donk's super
We
strong.
got business to do, Donk. You
Donk's
just,
good businessman.
Enjoy your drink.
I just walk up to Donk and like I feel like as soon as I walk up to him, he just stands up and like I realize I am so short to him. Like I just look up, I'm like, dang, you're tall.
And then I'll pat you on the head. You good little dragon pie. You good dragon. Hey! And I just pat you on the head like you're a little tiny.
Guys, I think I have a new owner. Well, I feel like. Because Donk's treating me like I'm a dog.
You good boy.
All right. Well, you can look after him if you want, Woocraft, but I think he's just going to cause you trouble. Come on, Volo. Let's.
So Volo stands up. The other gentleman, the other great-looking gentleman that looks probably like I would say probably looks like Fabio. You know, hair's kind of like blowing in the breeze and stuff. Nice blonde Goldilocks, and yeah, he stands up as well, and he kind of looks over towards Urka and Donk and says, "Well, we are off to Troll Skull Manor on Troll Skull Alley, so."
Ooh, do you have any trolls there, or even skulls? Either way, Donk can crush trolls or scrolls.
Hey, Donk, can I own you?
I don't know.
Like, can you be like in the movies, like, there's like the main guy and the sidekick. Can you be the sidekick?
You want Donk to be your sidekick?
Sure, why not? You're bigger than me. You look
okay.
like Aptor over there, and like he's a friend. So yeah.
Okay, I guess Donk hang out.
All right, let's go to the mansion.
All right, so you guys head down towards Troll Skull Manor. Now, as you guys are traveling, Raynor turns to everybody and says, "Well, I know this was probably just a case of misidentification, but I think my father may have embezzled a very, very, very," and he stresses the word very, very large amount of gold while he was the open lord of the city. And he thinks that his dad hid it somewhere in the city. And he knows that if you want to find it, you could probably try looking for an artifact called the Stone of Galar. And he doesn't know if it's in the hands of the Zentarum, if it's in the hands of the Zentarum. He doesn't know who has it right now. But his father had it, and he heard his father talking to it to some guests that he had, which he didn't know who it was. And then a couple of days later, someone stole the artifact. So supposedly the artifact can tell where this massive amount of gold that his father embezzled hid it somewhere here in the city. So,
well, is that why you were kidnapped?
He's possibly
as a sort of a ransom.
That could be it, but he says that he and his father haven't been on speaking terms in some time. But he was there at the castle getting some of his things as he heard he didn't know who his father was talking to, like he said. But he did hear the mention of this Stone of Galar, and it basically was a map to where the gold was.
Well, take my advice. You oughta make yourself scarce. I hear Baldur's Gate is lovely this time.
He says, "Do you really think I should really worry about that?" He goes, "I mean, I think it may have been just a mistaken. But if you think that maybe I should disappear, then maybe I should."
Discretion is always the better part of valor.
Well, I think you could be right, and actually Volo agrees with you as well. And he says, "Yeah, maybe Renair, you may need to take off for a little while, chap."
So, by the way, my character just kind of not even really listening to everybody. I'm kind of ignoring, looking up at the sign, and right out of nowhere, Donk says, "So, yawning portal means that it's really tired, right?"
Yes, Donk, that's what it means.
Okay.
Yeah. Volo says that's exactly what it means, Donk. Good Donk.
Okay, and then he does an arm pump, like he just nailed it. Oh, good deal.
Volo pulls out a little spray bottle full of water, and it says Donk spray bottle. And he says anytime Donk gets out of hand, just use a spray bottle and spray him a couple times and say down Donk.
Donk don't like water. It reminds Donk of bath.
All right, I'll take the bottle.
Yeah. So he hands it over to you, Wookrath, and he says, "Oh yeah, just use this anytime he starts getting out of hand." So you guys arrive.
I got a little worried in my face, but yeah, add that to your inventory. Donk water spray.
Right. So here's the map of the massive quality Troll Skull Alley map that has been provided to us by the module. Great cartography here. Great color. Hope you guys enjoy it. This is your new alley that you live on. You guys are here in T1. This is Troll Skull Manor. And there are some other notable locations as you guys are kind of weeding around. Volo's kind of showing you that there's a Bookworm's Treasure. There's actually a place called the Bookworm's Treasure. There is the Tiger's Eye. There is Corellan's Crown. There is the Steam and Steel, and you can see smoke billowing out of this smithy. There's also the Bent Nail. And he takes you to Troll Skull Manor. So as you guys enter Troll Skull Manor, you guys can see that, and as Volo is kind of shimmering the keys and opening the lock, and he's just continually rattling the keys, and he's just kind of prolonging it. You can tell. And he says, "Oh, this is a beautiful place. I know you guys will like it." And he gets it unlocked, and he opens up the door, and the door creaks and the door kind of falls off one of the hinges there, but it's still kind of hanging by another hinge. And so as
I yelled dibs.
you guys arrive and walk inside of the first room. It looks like this is actually a tavern, because there's a bar, there's a bunch of broken furniture, dust everywhere, linen cloths thrown over chairs, and to try to, it was just abandoned. There's all kinds of
fancy
containers of tarnished silverware everywhere, casks of wine that are probably bad. A couple have been turned over. There's a slight stench as well. And you guys kind of look around the place, and Vola looks over to you guys and says, "Isn't she a real beaut?" There's 4 stories of this place. So here's the first story as you guys walk in. So it has potential. There's you could actually possibly make some money here. And he says, Vola says, well, the bar hasn't been open for some time, as you can tell, but with a little bit of TLC, you could get this place back up and running in no time. And maybe even make some money.
I lean over to Dantes and I'm like, we need to list this thing right now. I wonder if we can get 500 gold out of it.
So I don't think we get the money, and I don't know. I need to do something. Maybe
what?
I can't go back to sea. I gotta have a profession. I gotta do something. So.
Oh, Dante's a sad seaman.
Yeah, Don, that's right.
Oh my God.
It's like he hasn't heard that before.
Seaman.
Poor Dante. He's sad.
Crap, are you sure you want this thing?
Don't give him a bottle. Don't make me use the spray bottle.
No.
Yeah, keep him on a leash, Woo, would you?
I can't.
This place smells nice.
I can't find a big enough leash.
Smells like Febreze in here. So Volo takes you up to the 2nd floor. He goes, oh, this is a beautiful floor, lots of rooms. Everybody's going to have their own place to stay. It's like your own little home. This place is so big. So then he takes you up to floor 3.
Wait. The 2nd floor, what is it just as dusty as everything else?
Oh, yeah. So, same with floor 3.
I'm going to need to urinate, Dave, so I'm going to go to the corner. And I'm going to whip out my donk. My baby donk.
Spray!
So
I'm just going to use the bathroom.
There's latrines in there. You can use... Vola says, whoa, donk. There's latrines in here. So yeah, and then floor 4 is got a bunch of old crates and barrels of wine and more racks of, there's casks of wine, there's bottles of wine, and he says, hey, maybe you could probably see if some of this stuff is good, and but hey, I can set you up with some of the guild masters around here, and I can, if you guys don't have the money all up front, maybe they can front you a loan to see if you want to fix up the manor. Because, hey, this place used to be a gem here in Troll Skull Alley. And he says, mates, I actually think that you could probably, if you turn this thing around, you could probably make some pretty decent coin over time.
So far, we've only seen 2 bedrooms. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us.
And he says, well, there's plenty of rooms, Wookrath. There's plenty of rooms for everybody. And in fact, of course, the rumors and all this other stuff says that this place is haunted. Well, I'm here to tell you that it isn't haunted, and you already have your first employee. And his name is Liff. And Liff is not your average barkeeper. He worked for many, many, many generations here at the manor as the barkeeper, and he passed away. Well, lo and behold, he still works here as a barkeeper because he's actually a poltergeist. So a lot of people think that this place, is haunted, and that's probably why I got it for such a great price. But all Liff wants to do, he can't speak or anything. He can kind of tap on wood and make noises and stuff, so maybe there's some kind of way that you can communicate with him, but I don't think Liff wants to go anywhere. And so, hey, you already got your first employee.
Can we, see the
So
Liff?
it is haunted. Great.
Like in
yes
a good
and
way.
no. Yeah, exactly. What Woocraft said. It's haunted in a good way. He can even pour drinks, Dante.
Listen.
Okay. Oh man, this is
My guy's
weird.
Donk's terrified of any kind of ghosts or dead things or whatever. So I'm just going to remain quiet and kind of Google eyes and look all around. As soon as I see some,
did you say Google
eyes? Yeah, be like my eyes are watching everything. But I also see a little
plastic
bit of
circles
there.
with a little black circle in it that kind of rolls around in it.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
There's a little bit of garbage there in that area. I'm just going to roll in it. By the way,
there's not a little bit of garbage. There's a lot of garbage there, Donk. So you could definitely make a nest.
I need to get at home, so I'm going to go into the corner there where there's all that garbage. I'm going to scoop out a little area there, and I'm just going to start rolling around in it so I can get that beautiful smell on me. Because I got a pretty bird that I want to whoop.
Alright,
pretty bird.
So I guess we found Donk's room. I'll sleep in the room next to him, so in case he sees something, I'll just run into his room and use a spray bottle.
Oh, that's going to be so great. I always like the Donk spray bottle, Donk. I'm sorry.
That's all good.
I think I noticed a nice tree outside. I think I'll be perching outside the manor tonight.
So as everybody's kind of checking out where they want to stay, and as Volo and Renair and everybody else goes back down to where the bar is, all of a sudden a couple of shot glasses go flying through the room and shattering on the wall, and it looks like they were directed for Volo, and Volo kind of ducks out of the way, and he kind of turns towards everybody and says, "Oh, that's just your barkeeper having some fun, probably."
So he's got good taste. That's something.
Yeah, and you see a figure that starts to appear behind the bar, and all of a sudden you see some shot glasses coming down, and you can hear them kind of clicking on the wooden bar, and then a bottle of some type of alcohol gets set on there as well, and then eventually, the figure appears. And Vola says, "Oh, that's Liff," and then you can see. At first, he kind of looks like an elf, but then you're able to tell that he's a half elf. And the bottle, he picks up the bottle and starts to pour alcohol into the shot glasses that are lined up on the bar.
So I'll go over to the bar and I'll pick up one of the shot glasses and I'll take a shot. Well, Liff, you play ball, and we won't get you. We won't call a priest to get you out of here. So you can stay as long as you want. Just don't wreck stuff.
He smiles. He doesn't say anything, but then he takes his finger and he writes in the dust that's basically covering the bar, and he types. He types. That's technology for you. He writes. Dang. Remember when we used to have to write as kids with pens and pencils and stuff? Yeah. So he takes his fingertip and he writes with his fingertip in the dust, and he writes the word "fix?" ?
Yeah,
and he looks at all of you.
Can't read.
We definitely need to fix this place up. There's a lot of work to do.
Oh,
so Don can't read. Told me what it say.
He's asking if we fix this place up, Don.
Oh, it looked nice already.
No,
Okay, so
not very hard.
I was just about to spray the spray bottle on him because I thought he was gonna act scared and jump around and shake the whole entire place down. But he says he likes him, so we're good.
Wookrath has got that spray bottle. He's
He knows
using
what to
his
do.
he's using his movement action every single round to have that